Hi, in this clip I'm going to go through the first piece in the new 2012 to 2018 Rockschool Grade 5 syllabus, Geek. What I'll do is I'll play through the piece first of all, along with the backing track. I'll then give you a few pointers on the sort of sound you need and things you need to look out for when you're actually performing the piece. I'll then play it a second time with the backing track slowed down about 20%. And then finally I'll play it a third time with my own volume turned right down. So you've got a slightly slower backing track, but also a visual reference of where you should be in the song to help you practice it. So this is Geek.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, okay. Sound first of all. It's a kind of heavy, punky sort of tune, so you need plenty of distortion. I'd recommend you use your bridge pickup, so you've got plenty of mid-range in it, but then I'd boost your bass and top end, so you end up with a very aggressive kind of attack to it. So you get that nice kind of clunky sound going on. What you've got to watch out for when you're using this much distortion is making sure you keep your muting. So when it comes to, for starters, the first section, section A, where you've got the triplet rhythm on a B, fifth power chord, make sure you've got that palm muting in there so it sounds nice and chunky. When you get to bar 3, where you're doing the full triplets, every note of the triplet, you've got to do alternate picking, basically. You've got to use a down strum followed by an up strum. If you try and do it all as down strokes, it's a bit too fast to do it accurately. But the disadvantage of that, of course, is obviously you've got 2 strokes, a down and an up, and you're playing 3 notes per beat, basically, as a triplet. So that means first accent is on a downstroke, second accent is on an upstroke, so it takes a little bit of practice to get used to do that evenly. Right, section B, the fifth power chords. Again, it's all about keeping your muting nice and tidy, so when you come to do the power chords, make sure you mute them out straight away, don't let them ring on. So you want nice punchy chords, not. So you've got to make sure those rests are in there. Right, let's have a look at the melodic section. Now, again, it's a fairly straightforward melody, but there's quite a few position shifts in it. So you need to make sure you get used to where you've got to move your hand to get your positions right. So the first section, pretty straightforward. When it comes to the little slide there, I recommend you use your third finger at the 7th fret, and you're back to the 5th position again. Then you've got a large position shift to get back up to your 7th fret again. And slide with your first finger, so you're in the 4th position. And use your little finger to play the E note. So watch out for those position shifts. Make sure you're not moving around the neck any more than you need to. So there's a couple of position shifts in there, but try and make sure you use sort of finger per fret rule as much as you can. Right, into section D. Again, palm muted chord, first of all, palm muted 5th arpeggio. Bit of a weird rhythm. Make sure you get those, the D5th power chord in the right place, because you're actually coming in on the and of beat 3. What I tend to find is accenting the beats just with a mute stroke to kind of keep time tends to help. So you can then feel where that that beat should be. Then back to a G5th power chord. Then you're dropping down to an F sharp bass note. And then just an E minor chord, basically, and then you just got to hit the right strings. On the repeat, you go into a B5th power chord, the alternative ending, so don't miss that out. Okay, we're then back to the chunky chords again. Around there again. Again, don't miss the alternative endings. We then got the drum solo. Now, because this is a swung rhythm, you've got swung 8th notes, and it's quite confusing to read this section because there's no indication of triplets in section F other than the first beat. So make sure you get the accents right. So it should be 3, 4, not. So you've got to think you're playing the first and last note of the triplet. So you want it like this. Not like this. So make sure you've got those swing 8th notes in there. Again, same thing applies on the alternative ending on section F, where you've got the build up into the guitar solo. Although it looks like it should go, it doesn't, it goes. So again, remember those triplets. Right, we're into the guitar solo here. Now, you've got a 4-bar chord pattern written down with a repeat sign at the end, but if you look at the guitar solo, it says in brackets afterwards 12 bars. So that actually means you've got to go through that chord progression 3 times, okay? So it's not just one repeat, it's actually 2, so you've got to go through that section 3 times. From a point of view of scales, what sort of thing to play, what I'd recommend you do is try and avoid your kind of usual bluesy pentatonic licks. Although a pentatonic scale or a blues scale will fit nicely against it, try and make it as melodic and as rhythmic as you can. Again, because it's in E, you've got good old open E string, so I think what I ended up doing was doing basically a pentatonic scale up one string. So really make it as rhythmic as you can. Plenty of kind of muted strums. You can maybe pinch a few rhythmic ideas from later on in the song where you've got the muted strum triplets. That bit. You can pinch that in your solo. Again, just to make it nice and rhythmical. Okay, we're then into the bass solo, section H. Now, you've got a sort of mezzo forte marking there, so you need to back the volume off a bit as well. So turn your volume down a little bit so you get less gain, and be as sensitive as you can, and try and build it through the piece so you get some sense of dynamics in it. Now, you're basically playing 2 notes out of the chords that are stated there. You can either play it just fretting the notes that they've put down, or you can actually fret the chords and just pick the appropriate notes. It's entirely up to you. If you do play the entire chords, it does give you the chance to kind of build a bit as you're coming in, so maybe on the repeat you could start building it up a bit to vary the part a little bit. Okay, section I. Again, same thing applies with the triplets. You've got to remember those first two chords. You're playing the first and last note of a triplet, not straight eighth notes. So it should be not. Okay, subtle difference, but it's quite important. Okay, so we have E fifth power chord, G fifth power chord, A fifth power chord, then a little pentatonic lick. Remember to re-pick that same note. And the fifth power chord. Now again, when you're actually strumming those, make sure you get those triplets nice and tight. What I recommend you do to get used to that, getting those triplets nice and tight, is build it up one piece at a time. So try repeating it first of all, just playing the E chord. When you've got that nice and tight, add the second one. Then the A. And just build it up until you can do it nice and consistently. Okay, a bit at the end. You've got a couple of octaves coming in there. So what you've got to try and do is make sure you position it so you're muting out that D string. And I recommend, rather than trying to fret a full B minor there, just use one finger. And the nice little hammer-on lick. Back to the octaves. There we go, all done. Right, I'll play it a second time now with the backing track slowed down a little bit. Okay, here we go.
Geek. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
third time with my own volume turned right down.
Geek. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. Straight west. Melody. Minor. Round again. Back to the chords. Guitar solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. There we go. Hope that's of some help.